Okay, well, we are going to get now to our tech corner this week. And this is a really good tech corner. We really like doing this because every once in a while we can have a guest here in the studio with us. And we do have that in this case. So we're going to turn now to the tech corner, which we're going to have in our Studio B, which is thousands and thousands of centimeters away. So as Dirk traverses that great distance, I'll tell you a little bit about what we're demoing today. It's a brand new Opto digital microscope from Olympus America Inc., the DSX500. This tool has some truly unique features and functionalities, and to tell you all about it, I'm now going to throw it back to Dirk, who's joined by Robert Bellinger of Olympus. Take it away, guys.
Well, thanks, Mike. Yep, as Mike said, I'm here with Rob Bellinger, an applications engineer with Olympus. And Rob, you're here today to show us what, the Olympus DSX500, right?
This is the new Olympus DSX500, our Opto digital microscope. This tool is designed to save you time and money by ease of use, to produce images and data that can be used to make decisions. The way that it does this is by Olympus guaranteeing accuracy and repeatability of the tool. It can generate that by an auto calibration feature. So the system comes with a standard, and we can do auto calibrations with a one-touch interface.
Now you say they guarantee accuracy. That's a little unusual for this instrument of this type, right?
Yeah, most digital microscopes you can take measurements with. You know, when you put a digital camera on your normal microscope, you can take measurements, but we don't see guarantees to those measurements. And customers are, put on the line for knowing if their measurements are accurate. The reason Olympus can guarantee this is we have the auto calibration capability, and we even go a step further by having a built-in gauge R&R, reproducibility and repeatability tool in the software that allows the user to have multiple users, multiple samples, and test measurements over that group to get repeatability specs on their samples and the users themselves. The system runs with an intuitive touchscreen operation. This improves a little bit of ergonomics. You're not hunched over the eyepieces like a normal microscope. We have a very high frame rate camera system in here. We have all of our normal observation methods with a one-button push observation modes. We have our bright field, our dark field. We do have a mix. I'll cover that in just a second. DIC and polarization. So most of your imaging techniques you see on a normal microscope. So what we have on the image here is bright field. We can switch to dark field, and you can see that images come around. What's unique about this tool is we have a segmented LED dark field capability. This allows us to turn on different segments to light from different angles on your sample, and you can actually rotate those segments around to see lighting. It comes in different angles.
So, and that'll help you choose what angle is best for what you're trying to image.
Yeah, trying to image or trying to see different features or defects on the surface. When we have a new feature, something unique to our tool here is mix. This allows us to not only use dark field lighting, and we still have our segmented LED here, but it allows us to incorporate the bright field observation at the same time.
It looks like you're going to adjust the bright field as you need.
Exactly. So you can turn your bright field observation a little brighter or darker to get your background image that dark field usually cuts out, but still get all the edge enhancements of dark field. One observation modes, single push button. The system's meant for ease of use, though. An operator can come up, put their sample on very quickly, and they want to get their best image. The way to do that, with our built-in best image function, they select what they're running, maybe a flat type sample, and the tool will set up a whole bunch of pre-sampled images and switch between observation methods automatically.
So it's showing you on this side, this is a preview of what these different observation types would look like, and then you're just going to simply select the one that you feel is closest to what you're trying to do.
So you have our bright field image, we have DIC images, and we also have some of our observation techniques like DIC with HDR, high dynamic range. And if you select these, you can go and a single selection would take you out. If we hit apply, it'll switch the microscope to that technique and go back to your live.
And then obviously once you're here, you could kind of fine tune it some more. So you could use the best image to get close, and then once you're on there, make some further adjustments here on the screen. Is that?
And even simpler than that, during the best image feature, we could have went into more advanced settings, and you could have fine tuned it in there as well. So you don't have to come out here and mess with a whole bunch of the sliders anymore. The unique thing about our image processing, our built-in image processing features, we have an auto contrasting tool. So single push button, you can gain contrast on the surface of your image. We also have the built-in high dynamic range. I mentioned this a little bit. This is built-in HDR imaging to add contrast and the exposure rates in the dark areas. It brings them a little brighter, and the really bright, high reflective areas dims down. But the downside to HDR, it gets a great image, but if you want to move around the sample quickly, it doesn't have the fastest refresh rate. Olympus designed a new imaging technique for image processing called WIDER. It's wide dynamic range. This reduces glare and brings up the intensity in the dark areas while still having a very fast refresh rate for the screen movement.
And the only downside of this is you don't get quite the surface enhancement as you might get with HDR.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you can live without that, this is going to be a much faster way to go.
Much faster. Works great for samples that have high amount of glare that you want to suppress. We also have a feature called color highlighting here that allows you to select a color range with a dropper tool. Select like this red range here, and when you activate it, it turns everything else black and white or grayscale.
Okay.
So all the blue colors here went grayscale except for our red image. So as you're scanning around your sample, the red really sticks out if you're looking for that color defect on your surface.
Okay.
And
so this is kind of another way to highlight particular types of features or particular types of defects based on color. All right.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a specific color on your sample and it's random, you can focus in on just that color, move around quickly, and it sticks out.
Yes. Pops right out. All right.
So the touch screen, we have a built-in Opto digital zoom feature.
Now this is interesting. This is I noticed you
pinch to zoom.
You can so basically kind of if you've got an iPhone or iPad or that type of thing, this works kind of the same way. So your zoom is really, and you actually that's a mechanical. I mean, you're actually controlling the optics when you do that.
The optical zoom built in, yeah. So
right.
You're not digitally zooming. You're not losing resolution. We can optically zoom up quite a ways to get very high magnification ranges by using just one objective. We do still use our world-class optics from Olympus. We can use our entire range of UIS-2 optics, and Olympus did specifically design lenses for this microscope as well.
Okay.
The nice thing about this is your touchscreen interface allows you to go where you want. You can move by fields of view, and you can do some more unique things with stitching functions. We have the ability to do stitching with a motorized stage. We can do high quality stitching where you mark 2 points, like a top left corner and a bottom right corner of your entire area you want to stitch, and it will stitch that together with high quality automatically.
Okay.
And it can even do your through focus at the same time. So we can get a three-dimensional image stitched together in a large panoramic.
All right.
But if you're looking to get a quicker result, you can do a live panorama where we do a simple 2D stitch. We activate it here, and with the touchscreen interface, we can just simply drag, and this starts stitching it for us together.
So this is actually moving the stage and capturing more images and then stitching those images together as it goes.
Exactly. It moves the stage to where we want to drag here, and it stitches these images together for us. And when we're done, we can do two unique features. We can save this as a brand new image by just hitting complete here, but if we also select to use it as a map image, when we go back out, so now I hit complete, this will save it as a brand new image, and it's still calibrated. We can do our measurements on this 2D image, point-to-point measurements, but we can also import that large stitch area and use it as our map image if we wanted to.
Okay.
To do, you know, quick stitch of an area and you want to move around quickly, you can drive through your map. If you notice in the map image here, if you zoom in on an area, it shows you where you're zoomed into.
So okay, so there's a little green box over on that right-hand side, which is with the area you're actually looking at on the entire image that you've stitched together.
Exactly. This could either be the large stitched area, or it could be just a low mag image.
Got it.
And you can actually move this around to any position you want, and the stage will drive right to that position.
Pretty neat.
Quick and easy interfaces is what
I was
it's
going to
all
say,
about.
the interface is very simple on this. I really like this. I like your... we haven't really touched on it, but you've got up on top. You've got kind of your three major things you can do. You can do your imaging, your measurement, and your reports, and each of those brings up a contextual screen there.
Yeah, and let's get to that.
Okay.
Downside to high-resolution compound optics is you get this out-of-focus information and in-focus information. If you want, we can gather all that information into one focus plane by performing an EFI image down here.
Now, EFI means what?
Extended focal imaging, where we create a one focused image for all the focus planes. Or we can even capture a 3D image. To set a 3D image, really all we have to do is focus down to the bottom. And I'm focusing with the scroll wheel on the mouse. You could also use the focus buttons here but you just hit start at the bottom of focus, and then you go to your very top of focus. This would be the top of these pads here.
Okay.
And you hit end on that, and then you hit acquire, and it's using our image processing technique, any of our observation modes, and it automatically captures this all-in-focused image for us.
Okay, so it's stepping and then focusing, stepping then focusing. Is that what's?
It's actually stepping from bottom of focus to top and capturing all the focus slices between there, and integrating it into one focused image using kind of a imaging technique to cut out the out-of-focus data. Okay. So when you're all done, you get an all-in-focused image. Right. And since we selected 3D here, it captured all the height information since it knows very precisely where you're going.
Oh, very cool.
We can render a three-dimensional image, zoom in and out with our touch screen.
And you can rotate it, you can control that image just with your finger on the touch screen.
Rotate it with the finger on the touch screen, or you can use your backup mouse if you'd like. The other thing, you talked about measurements. We can switch to this. We can get live measurements right on a profile. So if you're interested in this peak here down to the base.
So there's a cross-section we're looking at right there. Okay.
Cross-sectional profile. This allows you to get height information. So we can take and spit our height data right over to a data sheet. And that data sheet can be put out to Excel.
All right.
You can also do different measurement types like line width, angle measurements, curvatures, cross-sectional area. Since we have 3 dimensions, we can also measure volume and surface area as well. Some of the other just basic 2Ds, like your normal microscope, upright compound microscope with a digital camera, we can still go into just geometric measurements and take 2-dimensional measurements. Something like center of circle to center of circle, marking 3 points here to 3 points down here would give you a distance measurement between the center of circles here.
All right.
All this information gets exported out. Say we go back to our profile here in our 3D image. We can also show, this is the raw color image, but we can show height data and a height image like this.
All right. Yeah.
We can even show wireframe view to see where curvatures happen on your sample surface.
Right.
The nice thing, once you take all of your measurements and gather all your images that you want, simple one-button push to create your report. And we will generate a template that can be customized and generate a report here showing your line profile, your actual 3D image that can be rotated live on the screen here.
Okay.
And when you're done with this, this gets exported to either Microsoft Word or PDF format.
Wow.
Simple work process, like you said, imaging, measurements, and reports.
Is this a fairly new product, or?
This just launched for us a month ago.
And what
very new, cutting edge.
What markets is this going into predominantly?
This is going to be in a pretty large range of industrial type markets. It could be from medical devices to circuitries to your even semiconductor applications, because we have a broad range of optics choices.
All right. Well, Rob, thanks. I appreciate you showing up. This was the Olympus DSX500, and Rob Bellinger, thanks for joining us. Rob is applications engineer with Olympus. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mike.